Past her daily, but her scars are away from your eyes. She fought fiercely to break away. Her mind needed to be free. Her body needed to heal. Many wear their scars on the inside, hidden behind guilt and shame. She wears abuse on her back, marred by the evil remarks of her lover, safe from his constant attacks. He builds her up, only to bash her self-esteem down, to keep her there in his pit that surrounds her every emotion, feeling, touch, and being. He operates violently to the highest extreme, saying no, it's not an option, only yes, yes, I'll do whatever you say. She cries rivers on the inside as she gives in desperately. He replenishes his strength off of her tears. You are listening to MFF Project, Identity of a Woman podcast, hosted by Chantel Branch, your domestic violence specialist, educating individuals on why their decision to remain silent keeps them locked in abuse. For more information about our live production, visit www.mffproject.com. Scars. You can't always see them. They remain stamped permanently to her soul. But the next time you look at her, do not be afraid. No, 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 please don't turn away. Scars are the remnant after the pain. But she lives. She survives. She broke free. She is me.
Hey, 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 everybody. Hey, 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 everybody. Thank you so much for joining me. Welcome back to another episode of the Identity of a Woman podcast. And today we're going to take a little journey, take a little ride, as we always do, as we always do. So, listen, if you have not gotten your copy of Decisions, the book, go ahead and grab the copy. I'm going to drop the link down in the chat. Go ahead and grab your copy of Decisions the book. It's only 22 bucks, autograph copy, shipping and handling. Listen, Macy is the main character. She falls in love with a guy named Smoke. They meet in high school. It's your general love story of being a teenager falling in love. She's mesmerized. She is determined. She's working on her career. High school is over. They are now working on their career in different fields and different trades, and she is ready to take on and tackle the world. But it's something about this guy named Smoke, right? It's something about the way that he kind of entangles himself into her life, how he intertwines with everything that she has going on, and how one day she finds herself caught in the middle, caught surrounded by just smoke, only smoke. Her lungs are filled. She's heaving in and out. She can no longer breathe. She's actually physically, literally suffocating from smoke. If you want to know more, go ahead, click the link in the comments, grab your copy of Decisions the book. I'll send it out to you ASAP. So listen, just like Macy and Smoke, Macy was focused. She had her heights set. She was working in her career. She was doing all that she can do to be the best woman that she knew how to be. And then she met a man. Isn't that funny how we as women find ourselves going along in life, working on our careers, working on school, graduating from high school, getting ready to head out into life, and we meet a man, we get involved in a relationship, we get an entanglement, right? And then we find that we have lost our focus. We find that we are no longer doing and being and going in the direction that we intended to go into from the beginning when we set out and we made the decision, hey, I'm going to go ahead and get my degree in social work. I'm going to go ahead and get my degree in graphic design. We make a decision to do something, and somewhere along the way, I think it happens. It's just like an automatic thing that happens in life. The moment you decide to make a decision, something happens and something prevents you from carrying out the decision fully, right? There are always things that are going to stop you. Like I know people who are graduating from college right now and they are literally, frustrated and anxiety, and it's November and it's past midterms and finals are coming up, and papers are due and big projects are due, and you have that fear and that worry, am I going to graduate? But of course you're going to graduate. You've worked so hard, you've come so far, you've made so many sacrifices, and the journey, if you look through it, was filled with distractions, and some things took your focus, and some things had you stopped even for a couple of years or for a couple of months or for a couple semesters in order, it stopped you from finishing. But then you made the decisions again to get back focused, to finish. But somewhere along that journey of finishing is fear, is doubt, is uncertainty. So I want to ask you, what makes you become certain? What keeps you going? What keeps you pushing to finish, pushing to make your dreams come true? What makes you go forward and have the courage to keep doing it, no matter what obstacles or situations or physical things are happening to you? You can, some people get sick. What are you doing? What do you do to keep going? I want you to drop that in the comment. What do you do to keep going when you're faced with adversity? Just like Macy in a story, she's faced with adversity. She's on her way on, she's in her career, she's moving up the ladder. She started, but she's actually got her foot in the door in a great prominent job in a great particular market. She's starting at the bottom, but she has that hunger, she has that drive, and she is moving on and she's in it. And then here comes that darn smoke, blowing smoke, making it hard for her to see, making it hard for her to breathe, suffocating her literally. What is it? What is it that causes us to make the decision to stop moving forward or stop chasing that dream and then begin to look to our left and begin to look to our right? What is it? Why? If you think back over some of your decisions, what were some of the things that tripped you up? What were some of the things that stopped you from completing what you said you were going to complete? And I dare say that we have 57 days left in 2021. You are making it. You're not only surviving, but you are thriving in a pandemic. We all have lost some loved ones during the pandemic, whether it's to COVID or sudden death or whatever the case may be. We have lost some people that we love. We have lost some relationships that needed to be severed. We have lost some money and then gained more. We have lost some weight and then gained COVID weight, right? Everybody has lost something during this pandemic, but I also believe that we gained a lot. We gained way more than we lost. We've gained clarity. We've abandoned fear, and we just had to have hope and faith that there was some change going to happen to allow us to come out of our houses again. And we weren't wishing on a star. We weren't wishing to a fairy, right? But we had the hope and the faith to believe that this pandemic would not last forever, that it would begin to turn around, that one day it would be safe for us not to wear our mask. We're not 100% there yet, but we're on our way. We have less than or just about 57 days until 2021. What will you be focused on for this decade? We are this, like, if you really literally think about it, we're already 2 years into a new decade. What does that mean? That means that there are 10 years in a decade. We have literally lived through two of them. 57 days left, and we have actually lived through 2 years of a new decade. What will look different for you? What will look different for your family? What are you going to do to change your finances? Please stop telling us you broke. Please stop. Please stop, right? Like, just stop, okay? There's no more loans. There's no more assistance out there that's going to give you and get you to the financial wealth that you say that you wanted. You say that you want to break some family curses, right? You want to break some generational curses. You want to change some things in your family. You are destined. You know that you're the one to do it, but yet you are still sitting there. Now you've gotten caught up in a new social media app. What is taking your focus today? It's so much on social media. It's so much in the world. But right there in your own house, right there in your little nook and cranny, what are you focused on? What idea have you been pondering and turning over that is going to be a product that's going to meet a need that was birthed out of this pandemic? What are you waiting on? You could not be waiting on the next man to do it. You could not be waiting on your sister to get the license to start the business. You shouldn't be waiting on anybody else to fill out an application so they can get a loan so that you can benefit from it. What are you waiting on? What are you focused on? And so I only have 2 points today. This is going to be a really quick 2 point motivational, encouraging podcast. The first thing is, when you are supposed to be doing something, when you have a vision, you have a goal, you have a dream, when you make the decision, you have an idea, and you begin to do it, and the distractions come because this is life. They're going to come. You're not just going to find out, oh my God, I'm having a baby, and this is going to be great and grandiose. The distractions, the fears, the uncertainty are going to show up. Do you have a plan to execute when it happens? Do you have a plan to keep yourself on track when you find yourself drifting away or drifting off track? Do you have a strategy? Do you have a plan? First thing I say is that you have to cut it. Cut what? Cut it. Cut the BS, right? Cut out the excuses. You're getting a little old to keep blaming it on the kids, okay? Because the kids are watching you and they will imitate what you do. So you can either be the best demonstration for them or you could be the worst demonstration, but nevertheless, you are the demonstration, but you get to determine which kind of model you want to be for your children and for your family. You're the game changer in your family. You are the family member that is going to change the generations to come after you. You are the family member that is filled with legacy. So it's time to cut out the foolishness. You done drank and smoke your whole life. I promise you, if you give it up for a little while and get focused on what you're supposed to be doing, you won't miss it. It'll still be there when you finish. It'll be there at the finish line. It will be there when you complete it if you decide to get it to go back into that kind of thing, right? So I dare you to cut it. Cut the mess. Cut the strings. Cut and sever those relationships that you know do not mean you any good. Soon as you get going off into something, here comes that relationship, that bad relationship. It could just be a friend, but really an enemy. It could be a wolf in sheep's clothing, right? It can be a brother or a sister that is not going to do anything. They're literally waiting on you. And you know that they're waiting on you, but yet you have not had the audacity to get your scissors and cut off those relationships, cut off those ties. That doesn't mean that you're no longer speak to your brother or do different things with your sister, but that just means that in this hour, in this season, I have to be focused. I have to train myself. I must be disciplined. I must be obedient. We tell our children that all the time. We get frustrated when they're not doing the things that we have taught them how to do. And so I dare you to cut it. Cut that relationship out so you can finish school. Oh, you let brother man creep up in there. Oh, you let sister girl take you off track. You lost your good job fooling up with somebody that didn't have no intention of aiding you financially, but instead they took from you and they drained you and they were a leech to you. I dare you to cut that relationship off. I dare you to cut the ties and then rebuild. How do you rebuild? You can't rebuild unless you cut it. You can't carry that weight up the mountain unless you cut the weight. You can carry some of that stuff up the mountain, but you will never make it to the top with the entire bag of garbage that is on your back. You have to cut it. You have to let it go. Because as we know that when you let things go, new things can come in. You can receive it. If your hands are full, there's no room for anything else. But if you drop everything, and I mean drop everything in your hand, this is the hour, this is the season, this is the decade that you are supposed to be focusing so that legacy and every generation behind you can live a new life. They can see something they've never seen before. They can experience a level of wealth that you would never even think that they could experience. But it'll be because you got laser focused and sharp. And you started in this 57th day. And for the next 57 days, you began to plan out. You began to think, and you begin to wake up, you begin to meditate, you begin to pray, you begin to just map some things out, you begin to plan, you begin to strategize, you keep pondering over and over that one idea, over and over that one plan, over and over that one book. Everybody's telling you to write a book. So write the book. It's really not that hard. You're a singer and you have so many songs inside of you, but you only sing in your kitchen when you're washing dishes or in the shower. You have gifts inside of you that are supposed to prosper you. And not only do they prosper you, they prosper your family and everyone within your reach. It's like oil, right? You know, you put oil and you season, put a little olive oil on a chicken before you put it in the oven, and all you need is just a little bit because olive oil lasts so long and a little goes such a long way. You have that oil inside of you, but it needs to touch every piece of that chicken that's in the pan. And all you need is a little bit. I dare you to cut it. And after you cut it, you have to stay focused. Stay focused. Stay focused. You cut it. And so you say, okay, I've cut that. And I now want to work on this. I want to get back. I want to finish that degree. I was broken after that relationship. I need to work on self and I need to work on healing. I need to actively do that because I do desire to be married. I desire to be a husband. I desire to be a wife. I desire to have a family of my own. But I need to work on self because the last girl told me that I was toxic. And although I'm resistant and I'm offended by what she said, when I sat back and thought about it over these last couple of weeks and months, I realized that what she was saying was true. And so now I need to work on self and intentionally work on self and focus and have a plan for the distractions. Have a plan. You already know the people that's going to call you and ask for money. You already know the people that are going to call you and talk about nothing. You already know the people that are going to text you the silliest videos, which would be great to laugh at, but how much time can you really give to it? Every time you say yes to something you don't want to do, you say no to something that you need to do for yourself and for your family and for your job. It is time to get focused. It is time to get focused. You have 57 days left in 2021, and you have 8 years left in this decade, in the 20s, right? You have 8 years left in the 20s, the 2020s, 8 years left. Can you believe that? It went by just like that because that's how time moves. Time moves fast. You can never get it back. You're going to constantly grow, but you get to decide if you're going to grow out or you're going to grow in your mind. You're going to grow financially. You're going to grow with wisdom. You get to decide. You get to make the choice. You get to make the decision. Nobody's going to stop it. And that's it. That's all I have for today. So after you cut it, then you focus. You focus on what's next and be prepared and ready for the distractions and keep reminding yourself that you are worth it. The valley, the plan that I'm on, the strategy that I have, it's worth it and it shall be accomplished. So listen, go on and grab the book, Decisions, give it to somebody for Christmas, give it to somebody for Thanksgiving. You're getting together with your family, you know, one of your cousins, your aunt, somebody likes to read. Go ahead, the link is in the comments. Go ahead and grab them a copy of Decisions, the book. And I will see you guys again next time on the Identity of a Woman podcast. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful evening. Have a wonderful day. See ya.